Hey adrenaline junkies, welcome to Police Pursuit. Today we launch a new, fresh series, When People Messed with the Wrong Cops.
Right now.
Every reckless choice flips on instant justice mode. Buckle up. Let's roll right now, folks.
We're at the end of the ramp. Shut it off!
The pursuit began around 6:30 p.m. in Hazen, Arkansas, when Officer Josh Middleton attempted to stop a 2006 Dodge Charger. The driver initially refused to comply, keeping the engine running and ignoring commands to shut it off before suddenly accelerating and fleeing. The vehicle sped across an overpass, attempting to turn around and re-enter the interstate, instantly turning the situation into a chaotic pursuit. From the very start, the suspect drove aggressively, making sharp turns, changing directions abruptly, and even shifting into reverse to create distance. Middleton quickly closed in and executed multiple pit maneuvers, sending the Charger spinning off the roadway and into the dirt.
We're on the eastbound ramp. He's still taking off on me.
Despite being briefly pinned and held at gunpoint, the suspect refused to surrender. The engine roared as the tires spun wildly in the dirt, and within seconds the Charger broke free and took off again. At that moment, Sergeant Clayton Dillion arrived and took over as the lead unit. By now, the vehicle was heavily damaged, its rear axle compromised, causing the back end to fishtail violently under acceleration. Yet the driver kept his foot on the gas, continuing the escape in a vehicle that was barely controllable.
Hey! Hey! Show me your head! Shut it off! Move, cross road! That's always taking off again. Clayton, I can't see. Yeah, so we're going back across overpass.
Take cover, take cover.
The pursuit escalated further as officers ahead deployed stop sticks in an attempt to disable the vehicle. The suspect swerved to avoid them but lost control and struck a truck. The impact sent the Charger into violent shaking, nearly tearing it apart, yet the driver still pushed forward, dragging the damaged vehicle a short distance as it struggled to stay together. With no way out left, the Charger was finally surrounded. Officers approached with weapons drawn, issuing clear commands, and this time the suspect complied. Delphin Salvi was taken into custody at the scene. He later admitted he ran because he had gotten away in the past and was also found to be carrying approximately 2 pounds of marijuana, explaining the desperation behind his reckless attempt to escape.
Hey, you got felony fleeing and a whole bunch of other charges. Will I be able to get out tonight? No, hell no.
A situation that raises more than a few questions. Was that split-second evasive move really worth it when it immediately led to a total loss of control? And with the car already barely operable, was continuing to flee a calculated decision or just a reckless instinct that only made things worse? At approximately 10:10 a.m. on March 15th, deputies responded to a domestic violence call at a Circle K on Palm Coast Parkway Southwest. A visibly injured woman ran into the store begging for help before locking herself in the bathroom. Outside, suspect Cora Rise Hill fled as deputies approached, driving the wrong way, running a red light and weaving aggressively through traffic.
Disregard that, I think it's 97, okay? Well, how far back should be?
The pursuit escalated as the vehicle entered Interstate 95 South, reaching speeds over 120 miles per hour. In Volusia County, FHP took over and executed multiple pit maneuvers, each impact causing the vehicle to shake violently and lose stability, though the suspect continued trying to escape. The repeated impacts ultimately forced the vehicle to fishtail and slow before coming to a stop near Tomoka Farms Road and Pioneer Drive. Deputies quickly took Hill into custody. The victim later revealed she had been assaulted, threatened with a firearm, and strangled. An extremely dangerous situation brought to an end in time. Beginning with a serious act of violence and quickly turning into a reckless high-speed flight. Every decision that followed, accelerating, running red lights, and stubbornly trying to escape even as the vehicle was losing control, pushed the situation closer to the edge of disaster. And does it ultimately take law enforcement intervention to forcibly bring it to a stop for that spiral of chaos to finally come to an end? On February 21, 2024, while on patrol in Escambia County, law enforcement received information about a fleeing vehicle near State Road 29 and Interstate 10. Troopers located a Wisconsin-tagged Audi sedan on I-10 and activated their emergency lights and sirens. The driver refused to stop, exiting at mile marker 5 and continuing to flee at a high rate of speed.
29 again. So he's 29, made the left turn onto 29, back northbound 29. Okay, yeah, deputy, that was him that just passed you right there. If you're on TAC 5, he is driving on the wrong side of the road. Just out and out driving on the wrong side of the road now. Woodland, he's 29 in Woodland Avenue. Still northbound.
The suspect traveled through multiple roadways, including 9 Mile Road, Pine Cone Drive, 297A Muskogee Road, and US 29, repeatedly driving against traffic, making U-turns and reaching speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. The reckless driving continued through Quintet Road, Highway 97, Sunshine Hill Road, and Molino Road, weaving through traffic and creating a serious hazard for other motorists.
There's already just coming up on Molino. Just coming up on Molino.
On Molino Road, when conditions allowed, a pit maneuver was executed. The patrol unit made contact with the rear quarter of the Audi, causing the vehicle to lose traction, leave the roadway, and roll multiple times before coming to a stop.
Roll over, send EMS.
Right, that's a good pit, good pit.
The driver, Noel Almargo Petanguat, the sole occupant, exited the vehicle and was taken into custody at the scene. EMS responded due to the rollover crash, and a patrol vehicle also struck a roadside mailbox during the pursuit. Further investigation revealed the suspect was involved in 2 hit-and-run incidents near US 29 and West Burgess Road, involving a white Volvo, and near Pine Forest Road and West Detroit Boulevard, involving a gray Toyota pickup. Records showed Pettengot had a suspended driver's license and was wanted in Wisconsin on multiple serious charges, though extradition was not requested. At the point where the pursuit had clearly crossed the threshold of safety, deploying a PIT maneuver showed that law enforcement had little choice but to end it quickly rather than continue the chase. The impact to the rear quarter panel caused the Audi to lose traction, spin sideways, and leave the roadway, exactly as intended by the PIT technique, to break the vehicle's stability.
He's gonna go around you.
The aviation unit of the Michigan State Police, Trooper 3, spotted a suspect who had just committed a carjacking in Dearborn. While fleeing on foot, the suspect stole another vehicle, a black Dodge Durango, and sped away. The helicopter immediately locked onto the vehicle from above, providing constant updates as the SUV raced through the 7-mile road area at high speed without headlights.
You call it out, you got it. What are you, K9 what? K964. Dispatch K964 break. I've got one failing to stop, northbound Mulder, up to Jackson. He rammed me. Just committed eastbound on Jackson. He attempted to ram K964. He did hit strike the vehicle. We're coming up to Marquette now.
Ground troopers quickly moved into position to intercept. When emergency lights and sirens were activated, the Durango refused to slow down and instead accelerated away, diving onto the Interstate 75 service drive before merging onto I-75 and continuing onto the Davison Freeway. At times, the vehicle exceeded 120 miles per hour in a 55-mile-per-hour zone, weaving aggressively through traffic and exploiting every gap in an attempt to escape. Because it was unclear whether the suspect was armed, pursuing units held back, waiting for a safer opportunity to intervene.
Looks like we are going to be taking the 31 northbound opportunity.
Temple, we'll be taking 31 northbound from 96.
Trying to get up.
Go ahead.
No, we can do it.
The first vehicle's going to be going northbound 31 from 96. Northbound now, trying to hit it further on, set up sight.
We're coming up to White Lake Drive.
Heavy 80 miles an hour, approaching White Lake, 18 for that.
That opportunity came when the vehicle exited Interstate 96 onto Grand River Avenue, where traffic ahead forced the suspect to slow down. As the speed dropped below 40 miles per hour, a trooper closed in and precisely positioned the front bumper against the rear quarter of the SUV, executing a decisive pit maneuver. The force caused the Durango to spin nearly 180 degrees, lose traction, and slide off the roadway before slamming into an abandoned building. The engine stalled and the wheels locked. The vehicle was completely disabled.
Speed slowing down at 80, 1822.
Zero on. We got brake lights, we're slowing down.
Have a copy brake lights.
He's hitting it.
K9's out, subject in the medium.
Get over there, get over there.
Sorry, K9's out, subject in the medium. 1822. Go on the highway, go on the highway. K9's out, subject in the medium.
Troopers, along with officers from the Detroit Police Department, quickly converged on the scene, surrounded the suspect, and took him down after the tense pursuit. The high-speed chase that spanned multiple highways ended there. The vehicle destroyed, the suspect in custody, and the danger to the public finally brought to an end. This situation highlights the troopers' skill and composure. They patiently managed the chase, waiting for the right moment, and executed the PIT maneuver decisively, ending the pursuit safely and showcasing their experience, coordination, and control. Nashville, Tennessee, around 5 a.m. on August 11th, Metro Nashville police responded to a suspicious vehicle parked outside a Cricket store on Charlotte Pike. K-9 officer Richard Clemens approached a Toyota 4Runner and saw a man sitting inside, visibly armed with a knife. Officer Clemens called for backup while keeping eyes on the suspect.
Yeah, give me there so I get another unit. Put the knife down.
As additional officers arrived, they repeatedly ordered the man to drop the knife and exit the vehicle. After ignoring commands, the suspect suddenly exited the SUV and charged at the officers with the knife raised. Officers gave multiple warnings before reacting to the imminent threat. 3 officers opened fire, striking the suspect and bringing him to the ground. The man was quickly transported to Vanderbilt University Medical Center, but later succumbed to his injuries.
Put the knife down!
Hey, drop the knife, don't. Drop it, drop it!
Shots fired, shots fired.
Drop it, drop it!
The incident is under review, and body camera footage has since been released, showing the rapid escalation and officers' response to the armed confrontation. On October 22, 2022, while patrolling SR 166 East, officers observed a black Dodge Charger using a license plate frame that obscured the registration decal GA tag XYY650. When signaled to stop, the driver initially slowed down and waved as if complying, but suddenly accelerated and fled, initiating a pursuit. The vehicle traveled eastbound on SR 166, turned onto DeLoe, ran a red light, then made a U-turn back onto SR 166 West. It continued onto Barge Road, heading north before turning right onto Fairburn Road, driving at high speed and repeatedly violating traffic signals, posing a serious danger to others. On Fairburn Road, a PIT attempt was initiated, but the suspect abruptly braked, causing the patrol unit to collide with the rear of the vehicle. Due to limited space and oncoming traffic, the maneuver had to be aborted. At the intersection of Fairburn Road and New Hallam Street, the suspect attempted a left turn without slowing down, crossing into oncoming lanes. Officers quickly moved in to block the vehicle. The driver then attempted to reverse and escape, forcing units to use a pursuit-ending technique to push the vehicle out of the roadway and fully disable it. The suspect was taken into custody without further incident and transported for treatment of minor injuries before processing. At the intersection of Fairburn Road and New Hallam Street, the suspect attempted a left turn without slowing down, crossing into oncoming lanes. Officers quickly moved in to block the vehicle. The driver then attempted to reverse and escape, forcing units to use a pursuit-ending technique to push the vehicle out of the roadway and fully disable it. The suspect was taken into custody without further incident and transported for treatment of minor injuries before processing. Athens, Georgia, on December 18, 2022, Athens Clark County Police responded to a report of gunfire following an argument between two women. One of the women allegedly said, "I can take care of this," before firing a single round into the air and fleeing into Topper's International Show Bar, a nearby gentleman's club.
Hey, quit walking off unless you want to go in handcuffs.
I'm gonna go to the office.
Give you one more chance and you're going to end up in handcuffs and we're not going to go any further, alrighty?
Can I talk to my
Not right
boss?
now. Not right now.
Why
Alright, if you want to keep playing
am I
this game,
getting in trouble,
you're going to keep
though?
playing this game, then we're
I
going to play that.
didn't do shit.
Well, we got to figure that out, okay?
Can I go over
Not
there
right now.
and
No, you
follow
cannot.
me?
No.
I don't have no right
We're-
to pat me
yeah, we do,
down.
we do. Yeah, we
You
do.
guys are... You guys...
Do not play this game with us.
Yes, I have a... Okay, calm down. Okay,
Put our
alright.
handcuffs.
You don't have to do this in the locker room.
Okay, are you going to cooperate or not?
Okay, calm down. Alright,
That's
alright,
okay.
listen.
You're going in handcuffs.
Listen,
Let
there
go.
is no reason for you guys to search me. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Officers located the 19-year-old suspect hiding in the club's dressing room. Though she initially denied involvement, she admitted to carrying a firearm when told she would be searched. A spent shell casing was later recovered outside the club.
I didn't even fucking do anything. Like, what is your problem?
Where is your gun?
Like, what the fuck? I didn't even do anything. It's...
Where's it at,
oh
Audie?
my fucking God, bro. Like, I did
Where-
not even
where-
shoot anything.
Where's your gun?
Where's your gun?
It's on me. It's
Okay.
right
Where on
here.
you?
Look, listen. Reach down in the middle fucking part.
Okay.
And it's right there, but I didn't fucking shoot shit.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't shoot no fucking gun.
Alrighty. Where's your gun? It's up front? Right there? Okay, I'm going for it.
Yes. Reach for
How do I
it, but I
grab this
didn't fucking do shit.
As the search unfolded, an officer abruptly yanked out a concealed shotgun from the suspect, instantly sending the tension through the roof.
What did I do?
Right now we gotta figure it out.
And this is unnecessary.
You're making it unnecessary.
No, you're making it unnecessary. I didn't do shit. The fuck? Please tell me why.
You're not even under arrest yet. Get in the car.
Okay,
Get in the
why
car.
am I
Get in the car.
handcuffed?
Get in the car.
Can you tell me why I'm in handcuffs? Can you tell me why I'm in handcuffs? I didn't do anything.
Get in the car now.
Get in the
They're
car.
walking
No,
to the car.
I'm
Go
not
around.
getting in the car without
Get in the
nobody
car.
telling me what I did.
Get in the car.
Daddy, I didn't do anything.
Push her head down.
You weren't under
Tell
arrest.
me what I did.
Hey, push her head down. Push her head down.
No, what the fuck did I do? Listen, I can put my hand back on a handcuff, but I just want to know what I did wrong.
While being taken to jail, the woman became combative, slipped out of her handcuffs, and refused to accept responsibility for her actions. The conclusion of the case, including her charges and legal outcome, was detailed at the end of the video footage.
I just want to know. You're arresting me because I need to know what the fuck I did wrong. I'm not resisting arrest. I am not resisting arrest. I'm not resisting.
You're not resisting, but that you won't.
On October 22, 2022, while conducting speed enforcement on the I-20, officers observed a Volkswagen Jetta traveling at 97 miles per hour in a 70 miles per hour zone. When a traffic stop was initiated, the driver refused to comply, accelerated, exited at exit 90, and drove into the Covington Gallery parking lot, initiating a dangerous pursuit. Due to the suspect's reckless driving, a pit maneuver was executed. The impact caused the Jetta to spin briefly, but the driver regained control and continued fleeing, driving erratically through the parking area. As units prepared for a second pit, the suspect suddenly pointed a silver handgun out of the window and fired at the patrol vehicle, striking the radiator. Almost simultaneously, the second pit maneuver was executed, causing the vehicle to lose control completely, rotate sideways, and come to a stop. The suspect then fled on foot but was quickly apprehended.
It's in a car. At this time, does have several bullet holes in it. The unit did signal 20.
All clear.
A search of the vehicle revealed a loaded Smith & Wesson SD-40VE handgun, marijuana, a digital scale, and multiple small plastic baggies. The suspect, Khalil Jackson, was taken into custody and admitted to fleeing at speeds up to 125 miles per hour and using marijuana prior to the incident. Due to signs of impairment, Jackson was charged with DUI, along with multiple serious offenses, and transported to the Newton County Jail. The incident highlights the composure, professionalism, and effective coordination of law enforcement in safely bringing a highly dangerous situation under control.
Don't move your hands. Keep your hands in there.
On March 3rd, 2022, at around 12:09 p.m., I responded to assist with a vehicle pursuit initiated by the Bibb County Sheriff's Office. The suspect, wanted for theft, was fleeing in a blue Toyota Corolla, driving recklessly on Bass Road before heading north on Georgia Highway 87 and into Jones County.
Be careful, you're coming up to an intersection. Yep. I'm clear right on the map now.
I took primary position on GA 18 near mile marker 6 and attempted multiple PIT maneuvers, but was unable to execute due to traffic conditions. The suspect continued to endanger the public by swerving into oncoming lanes and later drove southbound in northbound lanes. As the vehicle tried to cross the median, a Jones County deputy performed a successful PIT maneuver, bringing the pursuit to an end. The suspect, identified as Stephen Law, surrendered and was taken into custody without further incident. No damage occurred to my patrol car. A patrol officer spotted a black Dodge Charger speeding on the highway and quickly began following the vehicle. While closing in from behind, the officer radioed in the license plate so dispatch could check the registration, preparing for the possibility that the situation might escalate. Instead of pulling over, the driver suddenly accelerated and fled, pushing speeds beyond 115 miles per hour, 185 kilometers per hour along the highway. During the escape, the driver even slammed on the brakes directly in front of the patrol car. An extremely dangerous maneuver that could have caused a serious crash and increased the risk for nearby motorists. To end the situation before it turned into a major accident, the officer executed a precision immobilization technique, PIT maneuver. The tactical contact caused the Charger to lose control, leave the roadway, and crash into a grassy area beside a cornfield, where it rolled over before finally coming to a stop.
Blackmail, red threads.
Blackmail, red threads, you are also present on the map.
We're going back to the east west. I just hit a couple times, step out, trying to hit again. Like brake checker. TV out, pit. Roll over, blackmail, stand by.
Roll over.
Backup units quickly arrived at the scene. The driver was identified as Kevin Wilson, 21, who eventually surrendered and was taken into custody. During a search of the vehicle, officers discovered an AR pistol inside, and Wilson now faces several criminal charges related to fleeing law enforcement, reckless driving, and weapon possession.
Hey,
That's not one to get driver out.
turn your stereo off! Alright, you're gonna come out, you're gonna go straight to the ground. You got
We'll get him started as well.
Okay, you're in cuffs right here.
The incident highlights how attempting to flee at extremely high speeds only makes the situation more dangerous for everyone on the road. It also underscores the importance of trained pursuit tactics that allow officers to quickly regain control and reduce the risk to the public.
Turn around by the Pepsi hour, cool guy.
Got some money is up on the pocket.
Money. Hey, appreciate you.